we celebrate the 43-year reign of the speed metal kings, Metallica. With 9 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations, 38 concert tours worldwide, and 11 studio albums that span 4 decades, the Titans of Thrash remain the standard by which all other metal is measured. We begin with a 1984 classic from their second album, For Whom the Bell Tolls, followed by the 1992 tour anthem, Wherever I May Roam. And then, let's turn down the house and light up the stage for the Auburn University Marching Band and their show, Metallica.
Episode 173 of the Auburn Experience podcast is heading your way right now because it's Sunday evening, and a wild one at that. We've got something happening live while we're trying to do the show that we'll address. And of course, as always, your main course of 2 major topics in the Auburn Experience space, along with catching you up everything in Auburn potpourri. Here we go. Saddle up, folks. 173 starting right now. David Housel described it best. We are living the whole of the Auburn experience. You can quantify it, you can qualify it through a variety of methods, time, people, places, and things. But at its heart, at its core, the Auburn experience is all about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family. The easy way to say it, though, is if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to be doing this evening here on episode 173 of the Auburn Experience podcast. As always, I'm your host, Kyle Loomis. Alongside me, not trying to manage 1,000 different things and run the show board here, is the other co-host, Mr. Austin Scott. So he is in a much better state of mind than me. I am overstimulated, Austin. So you are going to have to keep this ship afloat tonight, sir.
Oh, I don't think we should ask that at all. I think there are many people who would say, whoa, 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 what are we doing here? Overstimulated is a common word in my house. But the train keeps rolling. So I'm here. I will make sure the train does not crash, but no promises that it stays on the tracks.
Yes, it is going to be an interesting one tonight, folks. And this is a show where I was thinking about how to describe this to folks, Austin. Whether you are a live video viewer or I guess audio viewer, I guess if you don't choose to look at our ugly mugs on the screen or whatever, that's probably it's a fair thing to do, or you just listen to the audio show. This is going to be like a multiverse situation here. We have got a very interesting show. Let me just address it right at the front. We are broadcasting live in the middle of Auburn women's tennis in the national title versus Texas A&M. They probably would be getting close to a conclusion had there not been a weather delay of about, I say, an hour. Austin, would you say that at this point? Is that kind of
yeah, it was like an hour.
And they have moved inside now as opposed to playing outdoors, which is just a shame because that was a great facility.
They're back outside.
They're back outside now?
Everybody took cover indoors, but they are back playing outside from what I can see.
I swear one of our beat writers showed a picture of them moved indoors, and that's what it gave the impression that they're. So I told y'all, we're living in a multiverse. So whatever you're experiencing right now of this show, of what's being put out there, just know that it was a wild time. And this is probably one of those times you want to watch the live show so that you can see the sausage being made. So that's what's going on tonight, Austin. We'll make it right. We'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll get by. It's not like this show is the standard of order and procedure and goes according to plan. So we thrive in this, baby.
Oh, do we? Thrive is a strong choice of words, but hey, we make do. We work, hard work, all those things, perseverance. I'm going to start using every word to make myself feel better about it. All right, so here's how tonight's going to work. We are going to have your 2 major topics. The planned ones are to discuss baseball postseason wrap-up of the regular season, and then I'll take another look at a next level of the Jordan-Hare North project, the concourse level. So that's what we have planned. We have a lot to discuss in potpourri, as we always do. We also may at any point break into the show here live to talk about the results of a national title women's tennis match, or at the end of the show. I don't know. It depends on what multiverse you live in, as we addressed already. So that's how this is going to happen. That's what this is going to work. Here's the last bit of housekeeping of stuff that we needed to cover this evening. Next week, we will not have a Sunday show because I will be off for family stuff around my birthday, things like that. Austin will also be out of town. However, we understand that next week there will be the announcement of the NCAA baseball tournament regional selections, right or wrong, depending if you've paid attention to some of that today. We can get into that of speculation about that. We will come together probably on Monday if we deem it necessary for us to cover something of that nature, or even more than that. But at this moment, no Sunday show next week. So episode 174 will take place the following week. If we do anything together, Austin, it'll be kind of like the Auburn Experience light type of show where we just get to address those types of things. We'll figure it out along the way. I need to shut up and stop spewing just all the craziness that's happening and let the show just take shape here right now. I do have a shout out that we need to cover, Austin. We did get a group on YouTube this week reach out and express how much they love the show, the things that we cover here, how we cover the whole of the Auburn Experience, and they asked for a little bit of a shout out for their organization. And so we're going to do that this evening. We'll honor that whenever we can for the request. This comes by way of the Auburn Community Robotics. I'm going to call it a program as I'm learning about it. It is a program that is built for helping younger people get acquainted with the field of, robotics. In the Auburn Community Robotics is how it works, right? So they just wanted to express their love for what we do here and asked if we could just let people know about what they're doing. Their mission, if you go to their website, auburnrobotics.org, as Auburn Community Robotics provides facilities and facilitates hands-on robotics education and competition opportunities for children. So this is a competition along with teaching them about that. So we wanted to show them a little bit of love this evening. Austin, I know that robotics isn't your forte. At least I'm assuming it's not, unless you have some hidden skill. Or are the boys going to ever be good at, did you impart that type of knowledge upon them?
No, they might get that level of intellect from their mother. If they get any level of intellect at all, it will be from their mother. Okay. I'm not. I'm looking at the website though, and I'm familiar with some of these terms. But there was some. What's the word? Collab, not between this group, but robotics in the Auburn area through some organizations at a previous employer of mine that were educational, and so. I'm definitely familiar with some of the stuff, but it's a growing world. It's a growing concept that seems to be just thriving, and in a place where you're right next to one of, if not the best engineering school in the country. It makes a lot of sense that this would be a community that's in our area. So, and certainly looks like it's a young group, but also can go into high school or all the way down to if you were born after 2010. So how about that? So it makes sense that this would be popular, and I certainly look forward to learning more about it now that I've heard from them.
Yeah. And let's be honest, everybody's younger than us at this point. If we're talking about younger people, I mean, like, some of us are older than others. Others look older than others. I won't say which ones those are on the show this evening, but hey, listen, it's for the kids. And as you made the point, the Auburn School of Engineering, obviously the prowess of that. If you're gonna be in a community, being part of an organization like this, you certainly want to be connected close with the community of Auburn and what they're able to do there. So just wanted to give them a little bit of love and shout out, and thank you for them watching what we do here. And that's what we envisioned when we talk about the Auburn Experience. It'll always be heavy on the sports. It'll always be heavy on the football. Let's not, shy away from that. But whenever we get the opportunity to talk about even something far-reaching in the Auburn Experience for the typical fan out there, we want people to know what's going on. So shout out to them, auburnrobotics.org. If you want to email for them, auburncommunityrobotics@gmail.com. So do go show them some love and make sure that you check them out if you haven't done so already. All right, potpourri time, Austin. Potpourri got moved around a lot here to start off the show because of things that are happening, but plenty to talk about as always. This could have been a full segment, honestly, Austin, if we wanted to rehash some things we had recently talked about, but I think we can cover what we need to here. I can say, I think with almost 100% certainty today, barring some changes, that your roster for Auburn basketball is now officially complete with the addition of Mantas.
No. No, remember you said you're just going to let me handle this one.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Montas Rubstavicius. Did a lot of work on that. A lot of history. Montas Rubstavicius.
I would stand up and applaud you, but once again, the bottom half is not as.
It would not be a good idea.
I mean, once
you're
again,
close, but
it is
not a good
family
idea.
Friendly. I just don't think it'd be great, so I'm just not going to do that. But you, sir, continue to show why you are on this show with being able to pronounce his name. If you go back to Tiger Tracks, when my wife and I used to do that show, and all of our international athletes on that. I had to try to pronounce. I mean, you just got you got informed by Jessica, and it was a comedy show by me. So once again, I have not learned my lesson. Just let the co-host handle the names that are difficult for this guy to handle. So I do try, folks. Just let me be clear. I do try to learn them. And if you've ever met me in person too, you know it takes me like several times of seeing you and meeting you to lock your name and how to say it. Well, I don't know what that stop it. It's not about me. Okay, back to this. Our brand new edition, Austin, one more time.
Montas Rubstavicius.
And completing the Auburn 2026-27 basketball roster as far as we know from this point forward. He is a 6'6" guard, as most people are placing him. You know, I sometimes disagree with us putting people that fit in a lot of categories into one, space. I think they will just be one of those versatile guard, small forward, whatever it needs to be, but an international flavor again for the Auburn Tigers, this time from Lithuania. So we've seen this with Jovic before. We've seen this in this class and this group already with Narcisse Ngoy. I mean, so obviously the Tigers want to go international a little bit with this team.
Yeah, it's the flavor. It's kind of the flavor of college basketball now a little bit too. Seeing it a lot more often, just with the expansion of NIL and the eligibility, benefits of it sometimes, and just the production that they can have as the high school and international and university world of basketball is very different everywhere else in the United States. And so there's a lot of experience over there, and I think we've touched on it when Brian Cloman was hired, but he has some of that experience of flavor of recruiting that realm. And so Montas Rubstavicius is now the next one to come to Auburn through an international pipeline. So really cool to see. It's going to be just absolutely fascinating to see. We, like you said, we got the flavor of it with Filip Jovic last year, and now Auburn. I think Auburn people gravitated toward him very quickly because of that. Like he had some interviews early on where he just talked about how he just loved Auburn and loved certain places he was finding in Auburn. It's a very transparent way to see someone who obviously probably has never heard or stepped foot in Auburn, Alabama before, and they find a way to fall in love with it, and it makes your little Auburn heart smile. So looks like we might get two more examples of that with Narcisse and Montas.
Yeah, listen, I don't care where they come from as long as they are the right fit for what we need on this team. And one of the things I think that was discussed this week, people were talking about it on social media, comments from Steven about it seeming to indicate he's very happy to build his own team this time. And I don't think that's necessarily a shot one way or the other in anybody's direction, but that's just the reality of the situation. He inherited a team that is not one that, as the head man, he helped develop, but these are his guys. So we're going to get an opportunity for the first time to see what he can build off of who chose to stay. And you've got some strong pieces that are choosing to stay here, but a different makeup of a team, a lot more size, which is going to make a lot of people happy, especially when you talk about some of the guards are going to be a little bigger or people perceived as guards. But that's really your roster at this point with Montas being added in here for the most part. Do you think there's anybody else that could make a decision to leave at this point? I think most portals are done, or at least at this point.
Yeah,
is there anything that you see changing?
I don't think you're going to see anyone leaving. I think that, like you said, that window is closed. I think that what could happen, theoretically, I guess, is if someone who decides to forego the NBA draft but has maintained their eligibility would like to come back. Maybe you see Auburn involved. I think with the way the math shakes out, I think there's probably just like one spot there. And as we've seen before, you can hold that. I also, I do think that there's a a chance that maybe a guy like Emeka Purum could come back and retain that spot if he finds that there's not greener pastures elsewhere. So we'll just see how it goes. There's the Pearls have always shown they're willing to hold on to that one spot for a scholarship player or a walk-on player to get a scholarship too.
Sure.
So you never know. But I think that you can probably take it to the bank that the majority is rock solid here for this Auburn men's basketball roster.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of just waiting on this last shoe to drop, so to speak, to make everybody feel comfortable about this going forward. So there you have it. That's your team as we know it right now. All the speculation can begin. Just because of time's sake, I'm not going to ask Austin to predict the top 5 or the starting 5 unless he wants to. Is that something you want to do tonight?
No, he does not.
Okay, I'm gonna let you off the hook tonight, but during summer where we get a little bit slower, we might have to come back to that and ask you to play that little fun game that I always like to play.
Montas Rubstavicius.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. You just keep on saying that and making me look bad for not being able to pronounce things. So I appreciate that very much. All right, football flavor. We did get a little bit of schedule updates. Now, of course, you know your 2026 schedule for a long time now at this point, but you now have an official game time for the first game of the season. Auburn versus Baylor in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the Aflac kickoff. Is it Aflac now? Not
yeah,
Chick-fil-A?
Aflac's got it. Aflac's got it now.
When did that change, by the way?
It's I think just maybe last year. A friend of mine works in Aflac marketing, and so I know I remember when he told me about it. It was coming. It's been a while, but I don't know when it actually happened. But I want to say last year was the first year. I think Chick-fil-A had it not long ago.
Yeah, because Auburn was in it in 2018 with Washington, and so it was the Chick-fil-A kickoff back then. Either way,
yes,
it's one of the kickoff games, and I don't think there's been a single whatever sponsor kickoff game in Mercedes-Benz that hasn't started in a midday. I could be wrong, but I feel like every single time they've started in the midday time. So your official time for Auburn versus Baylor, 2:30. Sorry, I may have misspoke there a little bit. 2:30 kickoff for East Central Time, 3:30 Eastern Time for those two opponents in Mercedes-Benz. Do you feel any certain way about the game time, or is just happy to have it set?
I'm good with it. You know, it's a semi-closed stadium. I guess the roof could be open,
Could be.
But in September, on the beginning of September, I'm thinking probably not. That's all the more reason. Put it in the afternoon while we're already indoors. I'm I love that time. I don't beg for the night games, especially a little bit cooler anyway, and in Jordan Hare especially. So in Mercedes-Benz, 2:30 to kick it off gets you a little time to watch the night games. What do you think?
No, I'm happy with it, actually. If it's not going to be in Jordan Hare, I know, folks, we're all upset about it. Let's not go there again. But if it's not going to be in Jordan Hare, I'm fine with not sweating it out in another stadium outdoors or traditionally outdoors as well. I would suspect with you that they will probably have that thing closed because we all will enjoy that climate control.
It'd be cool.
It
cool.
Would be.
But we got time.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Football should not be started in August. I've said it before. I'm going to continue to say it. And I'm happy in some way, if we can't have it at Auburn, that we get to be indoors. And especially if it's going to be a 2:30 kickoff. I agree with you as well about you get a little bit of chance to get your game done out of the way. It's an important game, not to say that we're just trying to dismiss it, but to get to some of the other stuff that even kind of let everything soak in. Because I feel like the energy of that night, you just don't have a chance to digest everything from the day if it's a night game for you in that sense. So I think there's positives in it. We'll see how everybody else feels about it. I think at this point, it's more about where the location is rather than the time that's been the biggest discussion for most Auburn football fans. So other good news for football this week. And I feel like, Austin, I think I said this last episode, every single week we are talking about a commitment in the summer or the post-spring practice and A-Day world of Auburn football for a commitment coming through for the 2027 class. So your latest update, maybe for like the fourth week straight, it feels like. Linebacker, you got Mr. Kareem Palmer deciding to commit to for the 2027 class out of the state of Georgia. So once again, we always talk about how important it is to grab people out of the state of Georgia. This is a class in 2027 is so far that has been a little bit heavier on the offensive side of the ball too. So this is a swing back to the defensive side of the ball. Auburn's also got a really strong group of linebackers that they have been building up behind that core group as well. Had so many that people had to leave. So Kareem could be part of that next wave that's getting ready, unless he's just a phenom out there. But there you go. The next addition, linebacker Kareem Palmer is an Auburn, at least a commitment for the Auburn Tigers.
Sure, a commitment. And look, if there's someone you want to trust on personnel and who they want to be the quote unquote quarterback of their defense, it's DJ Durkin. So if he picks a linebacker, it's probably someone worth paying attention to. So he picks, you said it was Kareem. I'm sorry.
Kareem, yes. Kareem Palmer. Yeah.
I have this name in my head for some reason that I think it's his name, and it's just not his name. It's not even close. So I'm not going to say it because there's probably someone out there with that name. But I just keep wanting to say this individual, and it's not anywhere close to that name.
I got you.
I'll tell it to you later, but we'd get clipped if I say it.
Moving on.
That's an important piece for DJ Durkin's defense. We've seen the proof in the pudding with Xavier Atkins with that, with DeMarcus Riddick and guys. When he targets a guy, it's usually a pretty good bet. So excited to see Mr. Kareem Palmer be the next one of those, hopefully, as he gets to campus.
Here's what I love. I always like to find silly correlations and things out of this. He comes from Toombs County, Georgia, which is where I've never heard of Toombs County, but I love that a linebacker comes from Toombs County, like putting people in the tomb and stuff like that. So, yeah, listen, that's what you get here with me with like recruiting discussions and stuff. I'm so tired of talking about stars and things like that because they don't really mean as much as people act like that. I'm going to stir some people up with that comment.
There we go.
Regardless, very excited to have yet another commitments. You got any odds on if we'll be talking about next week on another? It was Big Cat weekend this weekend, so maybe we got another one kind of deciding to. And that
maybe so. Right now, I'm apparently making up names of recruits, so I could probably give you a few off the top of my head that probably aren't real people. But it wouldn't surprise me if that's a thing nowadays anyway.
But we have talked about this, Austin, in all seriousness, the importance of not seeing Big Cat weekend as immediate results, but that seed that has been planted in a lot of these recruits' minds to just kind of get the feel of everything, and then you start seeing them come along, especially when you get that momentum of one that happened at Big Cat Weekend. I saw his video. It happened while everybody was crowded around him. Coach comes running over to him, all that stuff. So that kind of gets the good vibes rolling, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
There you go. First of Big Cat Weekend. Maybe more that we're here will decide to commit to the Auburn Tigers before it is all said and done. We're going to move into some of the other sports in potpourri. We got to talk some golf stuff. Now, women's is the primary thing that we're discussing here. The men's regional play is beginning tomorrow as we're recording on a Sunday. So that's out there. Jackson Coyvin talk will be all next week. But not so fast, my friend. We have to talk not only about the women's team results of the regional play, but the individuals too. First for the team. They won their regional up in Louisville, and they were not the highest seeded team there, but not really one of the lowest either. So they move on to go to the actual championship out in Carlsbad, California. Again, we've been saying this a lot this season, Austin, how people are, yes, rightfully so, pay attention to Jackson, pay attention to the men's team, but you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not paying attention to this women's team too, going out there to the Louisville regional and taking that one, and then being able to eventually move on to go out there and hang out with, the rest of the great teams out there. So happy to have them moving forward for two teams, hopefully. I'm speaking out of turn. I shouldn't say that too soon, but two teams, hopefully in national championship territory.
Yes, I'm gonna be honest with you. I went out. I have no idea.
You went out.
You went. Our screens went black, and I was like, "What happened?" I didn't touch anything, and I came back I clicked to Wi-Fi again, and I was back. But you were talking about Louisville, and that's all I know.
Well, that's fine. That's not the most important part of this anyway. I told y'all this was going to be a wild show anyway. The biggest news of the week in the golf round. Oh my goodness, Austin.
I didn't touch anything. The extender's right behind this wall, and it's been working.
I'm gonna go ahead and say what the commenters are gonna say to you.
Bring it on.
This is a Temu extender that you're using at this point.
I got it. I don't know where I got it, but I didn't skimp. I think I'm good. I think I just had a little glitch in the multiverse matrix here.
We'll make it work. Like I said, the main thing out of the golf week that we need to discuss, other than celebrating the NCAA regional championship, regional championship for the women, is the individual win for Anna Davis. The team won, but yes, she's the individual regional champion. And why is that significant? Yeah, I mean, it's great for your individual person to win it. A win is a win, but what is important is the history that we have seen, not only done by something on the men, but here now with Anna Davis and the women. She is now the all-time individual wins leader for Auburn women's golf with 6 total under her belt now.
Wow.
Why is that extra cool and extra important? We've talked about it previously. We've got Jackson Coyven, who not only passed the mark for Auburn men's golf this year, but has extended it even further. So I just want to hone in on this for a second, Austin, how cool this is. In 1 year, you have had historic individual and team results for Auburn men's and women, but just focus on these 2 individuals, Anna Davis and Jackson Coyven, in the same year, raising the bar for what Auburn standards are for golf. That's really cool. You don't see that. I don't think we've ever had an opportunity to talk about something like that across 2 different men's and women's programs.
Yeah, well, and especially for them to have do it in tandem in the same timeline. And I think Jackson Coyven gets a lot more headlines. I think, just I'm not taking any sides here, but men's golf professional stage is viewed a lot more often. And so I think that probably plays into it, but them both have individual wins and kind of match each other for so much of this year has been very cool to see them both do. And I think that we're both going to be talking about both of them as they step forward after Auburn and professionally for a long, long time.
Yeah. And we've seen them both do some other things, when they're not in season with Auburn professionally already, or I shouldn't say professionally, just not collegiate wise. They've had some opportunities to participate in certain events and things like that. But their history is set here at Auburn. They are now the standard as far as an individual. Can they add more to their accolades as part of the team results? Only time will tell, but this is cool enough in itself. So congrats to Anna Davis. Congrats, obviously, we've already said it before, to Jackson Coyven. Such a cool thing in Auburn history that you've got to take note of and you got to really have a lot of respect for. So there's that for the golf side of things. We also had this week track and field. If you weren't aware, Auburn was hosting the SEC championships, and that's a 3-day event, Thursday to Saturday, where
a lot of people here. A lot of people here.
Did you see them running around and stuff? I think you said that in our Discord.
Yes. So my route to work goes like I go in between the old indoor facility and the Hoppa. I go in between the Hoppa and the indoor facility, and right there they had like I guess that was like the indoor facility is probably like for, I don't know, maybe there were snacks in there, but like where you get your it feels like it would be a good place for snacks.
But you're such a dad thinking there's snacks in there, so go ahead.
There better be snacks. These people run a ton. They need some bananas and stuff. So, there's the indoor, but if you go along the indoor or from the indoor on what road is that? Sanford?
Sanford, yeah.
And then across the street and go in between the Hoppa and
Hoppa.
You go under the track facility straight. It's a dead straightaway shot to the track. And so they had a lot of cones and stuff like, hey, there could be very fast and strong people walking across the road at any moment here. So please drive carefully. But I saw people running every morning from a different school every day. I saw big buses with every SEC sticker on them you can imagine, all around, all day, every day. They descended on Auburn, Alabama, and it was really cool to see. It was cool to see at any given moment the Tennessee bus go by, the Florida bus go by. It was very cool to have everyone here, and just like random people running around campus trying to stay warm.
Well, hopefully not. So all of them are random. Hopefully you recognize a few of our athletes out there.
Random people from other schools. Yeah.
I got you. Random.
I don't know Oklahoma's distance runner. I just don't.
Can we just be honest? I think I saw some Missouri people here, and I was like, Missouri and track and field just didn't equate in my head. But it was wild.
Missouri and nothing equates, Kyle.
I wasn't going to go there, but you're choosing to. So
I don't like Missouri.
it's a misery. So I did have a chance to pop by on Saturday. I was in Auburn, not for any other events, not even sports related. We've addressed that on a previous show. Very busy day. But I did get the chance to swing by. And I hate this because I think I just missed and left before somebody we're going to talk about in a second did a huge thing. But I just want to I really want to reiterate this. I want Auburn to host more track and field events. And we used to see this all the time. There was like usually two. They do the Tiger Invite and the War Eagle Invite, or some different versions of those names. They did have one this year, and then now they're hosting this. So I want them to get back. They just refurbished the surface. It looks great out there. Looked great on TV. And I just looked like everybody was having a great time out there. So I hope that we get a chance. I hope it's not an every 16, I guess, that you get to do this in SEC, but hopefully we'll get to do it again sometime soon, either for the SECs or more individual meets that can potentially be hosted there. Let's talk about just a couple of results. We won't go through it all. There's just too much. They did not win the SEC championship, men or women, but we did have two, at least, as far as I could tell, major accomplishments in terms of golds. Let's talk about the team, a group one first. The 4x100 was won by Auburn. Now, I thought we had done this previously on the men's side, and I guess I was mistaken, or maybe I don't know. Anyway, it was the fastest time in the country and the first gold medal since '97 in the SEC championships, I'm guessing, for Auburn track and field on the men's side when they won the men's 4x100. Now, if you've heard from my wife here before, we used to do the track and field show, you know how big a fan she is of the 4x any relay, but the 4x100. So she was really excited to hear that we were able to pull that off. And I'm trying to get everybody's name pulled up here on my screen, but they're not. The links just don't want to work sometimes. Azim Fahimi, I know, was on there. Ajayi Kainsola, and the other two. What you laughing at?
You're going for him this time.
Ajayi Kainsola, I think I got that one down. Give me some credit. Give me some credit where credit is due. Let's not talk about the basketball one that I mispronounced earlier. Let's not talk about that. Let's move on. But I'm so sorry. The other two I'm not as familiar with because the link's not working.
Just do it. You don't have their names at all.
I don't have their names at all. It's just, I think they're actually easier names, to be honest with you. But I do remember those two individuals. So that's the one great thing. One of the great things that happened in terms of golds. There were other personal records, freshman records, things won across a lot of the events. But the other thing that we have to mention, Jacoby Tharp. I mean, this is like
Tyler Davis is the other one.
Thank you.
And Austin Cresley.
See, I told you they were a little bit easier.
Those are easier. What a great name, Austin Cresley, man.
I'm glad the links decide to work for you and not for me. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, my internet's fine. Yeah, it's just great over here. No worry, no problems over here.
What a show. Let's just spend just a second more on this individual, Jacoby Tharp. You've heard us talk about him previous seasons, how great he is, how awesome he's done. He won the gold in the 110 hurdles again. And I think I cannot for the life of me be more frustrated myself for just missing watching him win the gold medal for Auburn in the SEC championships. He does it again. I mean, he's the fastest time in the world at the time of that event. The SEC meet record, the record of the Hutzel Rosen track equaled his own school record. So, I mean, this social media post for Auburn is like check. This dude's awesome. Yep. And he is certainly the leader for the men's side of the team.
He is. And we've talked about him plenty on here before. Because he's the mainstay when we get to this time of the year in indoor and outdoor season. He has this event on lock, and so for him to get to do it at home is very cool. I do also hate that you missed that because I'm sure that was a very exciting time for his own team, but also for people just to get to see him run on his home track and then win. So very cool, and hopefully there's more to come. Stage too.
Yeah, but awesome to have all of that represented, all the SEC's greatest and some of the greatest in the NCAA here at Auburn, and have such a cool event for so many days at a great and historic track and facility. So that is our potpourri segment. That was a lot, and there are some things that are still happening at this moment that maybe we'll get to or maybe we won't. But let's move into the main part of our show here this evening. We got to talk some end of season, at least regular season, baseball stuff, and looking forward to the beginning of postseason here. I know you don't want to spend a ton of time on it, Austin. I don't either. This was not a great end of the week, or end of the season, I should say, for the regular season for Auburn baseball. They did lose their midweek game to Jacksonville State. Not great in any regards, even though they are a ranked team. But then Georgia comes to town. You hope that they can figure out a way to, salvage one, which they did. But you're hoping for that final marquee, one of the few teams that's ahead of you in the rankings, a series win at home, and it just didn't materialize this week. Now, doesn't mean that it was terrible all the way around. Obviously, getting the win at the end of the series, 14-4 over UGA is great. They're one of the best teams in baseball, but you did lose the first game 1-2, very low scoring, and then a comeback, just thwarted 7-9. They lose to Georgia in game 2. Seemed like the crowds were great. Other great events happened as well. Are you down on the team at all after this, or any final regular season thoughts?
I'm not. I think. And I know people are like, well, why aren't you? I think that, I do think Georgia's one of the best teams in the country. They'd already wrapped up the SEC before this weekend to go into the final weekend of the SEC slate and have already won the regular season should say something in itself. I think after Friday, I can understand a lot of frustration after Friday just because, Georgia's strength this year has not been the pitching. They have great pitchers. It's just not been the strength. It's been the hitting. And you manage to hold them to just 2 solo shots, but you can't squeak across anything over
one more run,
one more run against their staff that you feel like this Auburn offense should have been able to. So that's the one that got away from me on Friday. I think going into Saturday, I was more concerned, if this team loses again, you just a loss that's more high scoring. Something like what ended up happening 9-7, where it shows the offense is not dead. Offense is not on life support. There's some good things happening there. Friday was just not a good day. And so obviously then you're 0-2 and on the weekend, that's no fun. But then they come out and run rule another SEC opponent and get the win on a getaway day against Georgia on Saturday. And you feel like you finally are going into Hoover on a high note. So, it's not the best. I think that a lot of people were worried they go 0-4 this week. And then you're kind of playing with fire on what the national seeding looks like and how many wins you got to get in Hoover to make sure you're hosting and set yourself up for hosting even further. But they'll all shake out next week, but the focus now is on Hoover, and we'll talk about it in just a second, but that can always be a crazy week in itself.
Yeah, it certainly will. Certainly, I am happy that we got that final win, a little momentum to dust off the rust of what was a not outstanding week to limp it to the end of the regular season. Now, limping is that's a little bit of hyperbole from me there. They had a great regular season overall with what they've accomplished. Streak of series wins in the SEC before that one that was going on. A lot of them on the road in very tough places. So don't let it not be said that this team didn't do well during SEC play, even if it was a little bit of a rough finish there at the end. Before we move on to the postseason part of this, do want to acknowledge something else really cool that happened. We've talked about Josh Donaldson already, and not to say that that's not important, but I just want to reiterate it. We've talked about it in previous episodes for time's sake. We're going to just talk about the really cool thing. I kind of forgot that this was going to be happening until they re-announced it, I think, or maybe they didn't even make it a big announcement or not, but such a really cool moment this week on top of seniors and graduation things, and Josh Donaldson's recognitions was the announcement of the radio booth being renamed in honor of the late great Rod Bramblett, to the Rod Bramblett home booth. And obviously it has a lot of layers here. Rod wasn't the original voice of the Auburn Tigers. And if you're an Auburn fan, you know this, but if you're someone checking us not, Auburn's had a string of tragedies with their radio voices, the main ones, with going back to Jim Fife, and then the tragic accident and loss of Rod Bramblett and his wife, which brings us to this, reason we're talking about this today. His partner in crime, Andy Burchin, is now doing a great job as the voice of the Auburn Tigers. But Rod got his start with baseball. And so I think you wonder, a lot of times these conversations come up when these moments happen of you honoring someone. Are we doing the right thing? Like, should we name more after him, or should it be the footballs booth or things like that? But I think honoring Rod in this way is really cool because that's where his roots started at Auburn. And I think you could tell for Andy with him doing the announcement, if you saw that video and all that stuff, how much that meant to him to be able to say that to him, or say that to the audience about and talk about Rod in that way. It was just that extra little cherry on top of what was already a special weekend for all the things that were happening outside of the actual baseball games.
Yeah, I think that, like you said, I don't really remember hearing there being an announcement up until, or just kind of it dropped off in the middle of the night. Or I don't mean that literally. I don't think Auburn was trying to hide anything. I'm just saying I think that it was kind of dropped in there as kind of like, hey, we're doing this, and it's going to happen today. So I think I thought the same thing that you said. I think it was very appropriate, and I think that Rod would have loved to have the home baseball radio booth named after him because of how much it meant to him. It was very obvious throughout his time, and he talked about it a lot, how much he loved calling baseball, especially with Andy, and with them doing it the final SEC series, home series weekend, and now coming up not too far from 7 years since his tragic accident. It just makes sense. So very glad to see that. It was a very heartwarming video, and just felt very appropriate.
Yeah, and it makes, certainly you want to do it in the regular season and in what is the last truly guaranteed opportunity to do this in Placement Park. Now, Auburn is well positioned to host a regional. So how cool would it be to, not just in a ceremonial way, but for Andy and Brad Law to say, coming to you live from the Rod Bramblett home booth, officially for the first time outside of a ceremony for the regional games that'll be happening. That's a really cool thing. So I'm very happy about this. I think it's so appropriate and just added to what was already a special weekend for Auburn baseball in that way. Now, we got some business to attend to here. Postseason is beginning for Auburn baseball. We have a tournament and we have a bracket. And you know how much we like talking about those things here, Austin. So we're not going to have time to go into detail about every single thing here. Auburn, thankfully, for its performance, was rewarded with at least a bye in the first round. So they will not play till Wednesday. But the SEC baseball tournament starts on Tuesday, May 19th. So what does that look like? So we won't go through that rounds of stuff like that. Auburn's first opportunity to play is the last game. Auburn will be positioned to play the last game of the day all throughout the tournament, however long they last. At least that's how I believe it shakes up. We don't do that switching thing anymore, do we? Or is
no,
that,
I don't believe so.
Can I be honest? Or you tell me, did you like it when they did the like re-switching around of where you played and stuff like that back in the way the bracket used to be set up? It's more streamlined now.
I'm more good with it streamlined. I think it works out. I think it kind of gives equal rest, or at least that's the intention.
Yeah.
Now, and here's what I'll say about this. You say Auburn's the last game of the day, folks. You just be patient on what time first pitch is. Okay. The SEC baseball tournament in Hoover does not run according to a schedule.
And we don't know what the weather is going to be like either.
The weather is going to be prime Hoover SEC baseball tournament. It looks like. If you check in with the man with the plan, and it looks like it could be a good old fashioned Hoover SEC baseball tournament week. So you just buckle up. Maybe we'll do some late night live streams. I'm just telling you, this thing could get wild. And for Auburn to be the night game, maybe that's what they need. I'm okay with it.
Hey, listen, you're not playing until late, so what's a little bit later at that point, right?
Well, what's a little bit later? Let's have a little fun.
That's a little bit better. All right, but so go check out the bracket. We on the clips and stuff, we'll probably have it up on the screen for you and things like that. But game 8 is where Auburn will come in whenever that starts. It's scheduled currently for roughly 9 p.m. Eastern time at this current time. They would take on the winner of LSU and Oklahoma. Auburn has a chance for one of those two. We did not play LSU this year. We did beat Oklahoma. Do you have a preference on seeing someone new, or would you like to have another crack at Oklahoma?
Let's get Oklahoma. You know what? They are in a down bad after winning the title and having a terrible year, but I got no business. I don't want nothing to do with LSU and Hoover. I'm not trying to be the help LSU needs or the first victim of the LSU get right tour. So I'm good with Oklahoma.
I think I probably agree with you too, given how LSU's given us fits in other sports in the postseason and given us quite a few heart attacks. So I'm down with that. Now we'll take whoever we get, obviously, but there you go. It's either LSU or Oklahoma. The path for Auburn, besides competing against the game times and weather and all that stuff, if they were to win as the 6th seed, they would move on to take on number 3 seed Texas A&M on the next day, whatever time that's supposed to be, currently scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern time, in their dreams, I'm just going to say. Now, Auburn did have success against Texas A&M. So you can choose to look at that however you want. It's difficult to do that twice in a season to someone. It is one game, so it's not a series, so you never know how that shakes out. How do you feel about that matchup, Austin?
Yeah, well, obviously, like you said, they've had success already this year. You know them well, but then again, also A&M's going to have they're going to know you well, and they got embarrassed in sorts in their own home ballpark. And they're a talented group as well. So it's no different than the SEC tournament to me is no different than the rest of the regular season. Is anything can happen. You better get right and be ready to play every game. But I think it feels good to know that you have A&M and you've seen them, and the book is out on what you both can do. It's a game of managing your pitching staff at that point.
Yeah. Obviously, that's a potential path for Auburn. If they were to make it to that game and win it, they would move on to the semifinals. And the winner, if things go chalk, would be Texas. Could be Arkansas also. So I don't foresee the two teams further in that bracket making it that far, given their years. Maybe Tennessee, I don't know, maybe they got a little bit of magic. But poor old South Carolina is just down. I mean, for a team that's known for baseball, down bad, way, way bad right now. I'll be a little bit worried, Austin, if Texas and Auburn find each other in the semifinals. Texas is one of those SEC teams, such as Georgia, that was able to get Auburn, and they got Auburn at home, just like Georgia did. So that could worry you a little bit. We don't know if Auburn's going to make it that far. We don't know if Texas is going to make it that far. Coming out of the other side of the bracket, though, Austin, just as a potential, if Auburn were to beat their first game, whoever that is, beat Texas A&M, let's just assume it's a Texas or an Arkansas out of there. Who do you like coming out of the top of the bracket for Auburn to potentially face in the championship game if that were to happen?
Who do I like?
Who do you think is going to come out of the other side? Just a little bit of a prediction. How about that?
I think Georgia is really, really good. I think they're really, really good, and I'm not sure there's much stopping them with the offensive firepower they have. But man, I mean, you talk about a way to get the Hoover Met packed on a SEC championship game, and Auburn really wants to try to get some revenge. The good old Iron Bowl in Birmingham would be a lot of fun.
Can you imagine?
I am out of town with family, but I would not be far from Birmingham and trying to make that happen.
I am in town with family, ironically, because my schedule's changed. So you might see me make my way over there if I can make peace with my wife for what was already a fun-filled weekend. For me to squeeze on over there on Memorial Weekend to enjoy that. It's going to be a fun tournament no matter how it shakes out. Auburn certainly has its challenges to get through every single game. It's the same for every SEC team. It'll be fun. Let me just point this out as a final note. Auburn has the high potential, if it makes it out of its bracket to the championship game, of facing one of its rivals. So really the question comes down to this, Austin. Do you want to face Georgia, who everybody thinks is probably the best? I mean, yes, they are the best team in the SEC by the results, but I think across the board, we'd all say that right now. Agreed?
Yes, agreed.
Or do you want the team that beat you 3 straight times at your place in Alabama?
I'd go in for revenge.
He wants the smoke. He wants the revenge. That's what my gut wants, but I'm also wanting. We've been able to beat Georgia, so I kind of want to take the team that we've been able to beat. So I'm kind of at a loss there. But that's your SEC tournament. So hopefully we'll talk about Auburn winning a few games there to help their case in the NCAA regional and super as a top seed potentially placement. All right, final.
Kyle, timeout.
On
I just want you to cut this part when you do audio.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch again.
We're gonna switch again. What a show! I got a lot of editing to do tonight.
It's not that bad. I gave you timeout. I just want to switch because
though.
No one would be surprised. Give me 1 second.
Well, how about this? While we're in the middle of switching over, I'll give you guys that are watching the live portion of the show, or if I left this in, I think I'm going to leave it in at this point, to be honest with you. We are biding time until a completion of the Auburn women's tennis championship match. Here's your live update currently of what is going on. Auburn won, it looks like 1, 2, and 3 of the opening sets of across the 6 games. They lost 1, and it looks like they're in position to win. And there's another one tied. So right now, Auburn seems to be, if I'm reading all the scoring correctly, in a solid position, at least just to stay in this thing after dropping the doubles point. So just as a live note of what's going on and how crazy this night has been, there you go. That is what's happening live while we bided time for Austin on the audio part of the show.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I've been keeping up with it over here too. So
yeah, it's a little bit nerve-wracking too, because I'll be honest, I got them in my headphones too right now.
Do you really? You're listening to it?
I have. Well,
and you're talking. How are you
I'm talking, and I had the faintest thing just so I can hear if there's any loud exclamations that sound good, in case we need to, cut over there.
You can put 2 audios in one headphones.
I think it's just all coming out of the same system. Who knows at this point, man?
All right, I got a nerd question before we get back into this.
All right, nerd out.
All right, so this extender, right?
Yeah.
It extends 2 of my networks, because I have one network that's like 2.4 something, and one that's 5 something, right?
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Gigahertz or whatever.
Yeah.
Which one should I be on?
Whichever one's doing the least problems.
Well, see, I tried that, and it doesn't seem like it's working right now.
As he freezes on camera right there, you froze right when that happened too. That's awesome.
For all intents and purposes, I am on the 5 gigahertz extended network. Okay.
I don't know.
Before I was on the 2.4 one, but that's what I went to when I had problems, and then you started talking about Louisville. So I'm just telling you,
he's trying
for everybody in the chat, who all y'all experts on this Wi-Fi stuff. I'm on the 5 gigahertz extended one. Tell me if I'm not supposed to be. All right, untime out. We're back.
We're back. All right, our final potentially topic this evening. We did want to continue to not get behind in our conversations about Jordan-Hare North project, because as we told you, this is going to be a several episode thing, because it's worth talking about that. I continue to want to push you not only to our content that we've covered about the initial renderings, the initial announcement and reveal of the approval of everything, and everauburn.com, where you can get all of these great resources, but we've even done segments about the timeline of this and the lowest level of this project in the north end zone, Jordan-Hare North. All that's been covered already. So where we sit on this evening is we want to continue to move upward in the plans that are proposed on everauburn.com. Not proposed, they're approved, and discuss the second level, also now known as the concourse level. And so if you go to the website, you can kind of follow along. We're going to be taking a look at the schematic when you look at that on the screen, and then look at some of the major points of this particular setup here. So keep in mind, this concourse level is called that because it runs parallel, as the schematic shows, with the main concourse that you currently now know when you're walking in the north end zone of Jordan-Hare. And so imagine in Austin that all that great space that we have opened up now outside, on that back end zone because of the setup for the scoreboard, it's not going away. It'll just be formalized into a more, nice setup for all of that, for Shug's Food Hall and restrooms and all this kind of stuff. Just it's going to look pristine. It's going to look nice. It's going to look like we know what we're doing, unlike Vanderbilt. So I'm excited about this.
It's going to look finished. Like when it's done, it's going to look finished. That back area with Heisman Drive and the Tiger Trans around has always kind of given a look into what the backside of the stadium looks like, where the visiting buses go, where the old CBS bus would park out back there. And now all this closed in is going to look finished when you get that bottom level, like you're talking, is going to be this concourse level, where you'll really get to see kind of the entrance. And I think they've been calling it what's the verbiage they've been using? Like this plaza is supposed to be I can't think of what they've been saying, not the intersection, but it's like the front porch almost from athletics to campus, the good meeting part here. And it'll look nice and really well done.
And this is that part where the students are going to be really able to utilize this throughout the week. I would imagine the general public as well. So this is those of you that don't like the project, think there should be things done different. Handrails.
You said
this is one of those really cool elements that I think is going to really shine through and show you that maybe you should have just trusted everybody that they're doing the right thing here. So just a little quick overview of the schematic. Right on the cue. His audio, your audio is fine, but your internet is just hanging in there. We'll hang in there too with it. If you're standing in the end zone, what you're going to see, especially if you're looking at the schematic, that's the buzzword today too. On the right side is an entry atrium. I'm assuming this is one of those new gates, potentially, Austin. That what you're going to see.
Love it.
I know that's going to make you happy.
It does.
Continuing on, you're going to see staircases, restrooms, which look pretty large. So, some nicer situations there. As you come to the middle, you're going to see Shug's food halls. We just talked about more on that in just a second. Up at the top, it looks like doorways, and I see 4. So I'm thinking we talked about 6 new gates. Am I not mistaken in that, Austin, that we talked about in this project?
6. Yeah, I think 6. That sounds right.
I'm seeing 4 openings. The entry atrium, maybe that is a 5th and 6th, but maybe there's a little section over there too. That's another one, or maybe that's just an exit. I don't know. But if you're looking along on the schematic, you can see it there. But tons of concessions, more on that in a second. Over on the left-hand side, there's Pat's Place, which is going to be another just option for you as well. And then just as a quick note, kind of referencing back to the last episode, the lower level, the lobby to get to the Kick Six Club down below, that lower level stuff, that's across the main concourse as well. So that's the overview of the buzzword schematic for the Ever Auburn project here. Let's talk a little bit about some of the finest things about this. Let's start with Shug's Food Hall. Again, I can't reference this enough. Austin, if people will go to everauburn.com, you can see their little videos and images they put in. I'm watching it right now on the screen. What sticks out to you the most? What do you like the most about Shug's Food Hall, even comparing it with what it currently is right now?
Well, we did not talk about this level last time, but we did not neglect to talk about the scoreboard on the roof. There's nothing you cannot disregard that at all.
So
the scoreboard on the roof is incredible. I'm so glad this is not in a locked away area where certain people can only get, like, this is open to anybody and everybody. I think that's great. But I just like this idea, because the food hall idea, because of how successful Heyday Market has been, and how well that has worked for so many to go in there and check out things, and have kind of not just chains, but local Auburn people, places that allow for different types of food to be chosen. Just in this little video, I think I see chicken, barbecue, hamburgers. I'm sure there'll be a multitude of amount of options that you can choose to eat from. But just, it looks like a lot of seating too. I just think this is going to be an open space and area the dad in me sees it as somewhere where you can go in and just everybody reset. We got in the stadium. We're going to get some food because Junior's back here crying about how hungry he is. We can all sit down, take a breather. For so many people, that's the student center normally, right? Like you can go in there, get out from the heat, take a breather, get your Chick-fil-A and sit down and have the games on. Now you can go ahead and go in the stadium and do that. So I think it spreads out people. I'm always been a big fan of food halls, but now there's one in my favorite stadium on the planet. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, it all looks good. I guess one of my concerns, if I can just not act like everything's hunky-dory here, that traffic was always an issue back there, which is part of the reason why it was so great to have that expanded area back there. Now, I'm seeing a lot of seating, and I think that's idealistic. I wonder if as time goes on, some of that seating will be transformed into more of stand-up tables and things like that for this area to open food. And they'll learn and grow with this and stuff like that. I love the concept. I think some of the logistics and realities about a football stadium and the traffic through that area is going, and what you have to remember too is the main concourse is outside separate of this too. So that is probably how they're going to manage it. But let's be honest, everyone's going to want to be in here on game day.
Help me out here, Kyle. So the main concourse right here, is that what I'm seeing below the scoreboard? Or is the main concourse back the other way through all the tables? That looks like there's stairways back up there, though.
That's what I'm trying to place as well. So what I see is inside. I think I've seen an entry gate back there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I think it's actually in the food hall. Yep. Yeah. So, everybody take some time and look through this and kind of figure it out. The reality is this: it's not going to be a perfect world the way this, renderings are showing you. This is what we hope it will look like, hope it all be. They're going to make the changes as things goes on. But I love the concept of what they're doing of honoring the past, honoring Shug, honoring the scoreboard, having that there as you already addressed. I love that. I think it's great. And more food, more options, things like that. And you can access it on non-game days as well, especially if you're a student. Now, one more thing, Pat's Place. So this is another dining option. I'm taking this one. It looks more, I want to say, upscale, but it does have a bar. It looks like it and things like that. So I think that already kind of lends itself to that situation. I wonder if this is a place that will be, you'd get the best out of it on game day, or excuse me, on non-game days, just because it seems like a place that you could come hang out for a little bit. Yes, get a bite to eat, but other things as well. It's a little bit more intimate. It's over in that corner opposite of the atrium over there. Any general thoughts about Pat's Place? Obviously honoring Pat Dye.
Obviously, yeah. And like you said, probably a little more upscale. This is an access pass area, so it's a little bit more premium. So it maybe not as accessible on game day, but I think that this will be a place that will probably be, like you said, on non-game day, a hot ticket to see if you can get in there and see it. Just looks nicer, like a little bit quieter, but I could see many an event in here on non-game day or throughout the year as a kind of a conference. It looks like there's a presentation area off to the side behind the bar, and so this is built for a lot of avenues and a lot of areas for people to experience differently. We've talked about that this benefits luxurious settings and the common game day experience. This might have a little bit of both tied into it.
Yeah. So 2 new eating venues, one premium, one common areas, with Pat being the premium and Shug being the common ones. And I was trying to make some analogy there. Shug always felt like the common man. Pat, yeah, he was the common man too, but it's more recent, and it kind of has that being part of the Pat Dye Society type of thing. I don't know.
Sure.
That's kind of what it felt like to me, thinking about it. So those are the main elements. We won't talk about the Kick Six Club lobby because all it is a lobby just across from all of this over there. We've talked about that on last episode. Anything else from concourse level that we haven't mentioned that we need to discuss? Do you see any problems? I know we talked about just the flow and traffic and all that kind of stuff. Anything else we haven't mentioned?
I don't think so. I think that this, like we said, this is probably the area that will most at least get trafficked by the normal fans that are either walking around the stadium or looking for somewhere to go. If you look on that level where it shows like the side view and it shows each level on the website, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like it shows up, down, all the way up and down. Like to me, that looks like the most accessible. Like you don't have to go through a stairwell or anything. Like once you're in the stadium and on that main con, like we already talked about, you'll be able to see that pretty well. And so I think that's probably going to be one of the areas that a lot of fans see the most of or see the easiest. And so certainly with the food hall, I'm sure it'll be a hot ticket and a hot place to be that first game in 2 years. So I'm really excited to see it. And I cannot fathom how many students are going to be there throughout the day on non-game days. I feel like it's going to always be hopping.
Yeah, it's a great usage of that space on the main concourse level. And obviously, we're not even touching on the plaza elements of this yet, too. That we mentioned it, but there's that aspect of it that we'll get to at some point. We're just covering the different levels indoors of this new Jordan Hare North project, and still much, much more to come on that end. So for now, at least, that's going to do it for episode 173 of the Auburn Experience podcast. We covered a lot, had a little craziness, and we're monitoring things all at the same time. As I addressed with the beginning of the show, you're living in a multiversal world with the show. Things may be inserted into the show at a different time and place. Who knows? But for now, we're going to call it a show, and we appreciate you guys dealing with our shenanigans and trying to manage 1,000 things all at the same time. So if you want to keep up with me, ask questions, drop comments, the social media for E2C Network is open. DMs are open. And E2CNetwork@gmail.com is a great way to contact us as well. Where can they talk to you, Austin?
Yeah, at Austin G. Scott is where you can find me on most things. And, dial up is usually pretty good too. The rotary phone, pigeon, all that works as well.
If you have tips for Austin and his internet issues with still trying to figure out the extender, drop him a line.
Drop me a line, man. Come send me a letter in the mail.
Whatever, just figure it out.
Whatever you gotta do. I do want to give one small shout out. Tomorrow is my dad's birthday.
Yes.
And I've talked about my dad on here before. Kyle has wow, I almost made it really weird. Kyle has
you did.
Kyle has met my dad and considers him a friend, and he's a loyal viewer and listener. So War Eagle Dad taught me a lot about being an Auburn man and loving Auburn, and he's certainly doing that for his grandsons too. So happy birthday and War Eagle Dad.
Love that shout out to end the show, and I concur with everything you said except the weirdness that you made it.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for.
All right, that's going to do it as we go. We remind you the Auburn Creed asks you to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. We ask you to do the same. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
All right, folks, don't go anywhere for now. We're going to kind of adjust here on the fly. Austin, I know we talked. Get y'all in the audience. Give us a second here. You make the decision. If you need to go, you've got more obligations in the morning than I do. I will give everybody a perspective of where we're at.
You give perspective because I'm reading
okay.
and I have my own thoughts on what is happening, but I want to hear it from you.
Here's where we're at. In court one, Auburn won the first set. They are in position to lose the second set. So that will looks like that will go to a third set there to decide that one, which could take a minute. Court two, Auburn lost and is tied currently. So that one, you just don't know. If Auburn would have to go to 3 sets there to win that one. Court three, Auburn is won the first set and is in position at this moment to win the second set. So that could be another point to Auburn.
When you say in position, are you saying like
they are in the lead in games? So remember, it's game, set, match. So
it's
6
not
games.
like imminent though, right?
No, but I mean, they score, is it 15, 30, 40, and then that's the next
6.
point after that is the winner.
Yeah.
Now, if there's a tie, you go to tiebreakers. That's where it kind of can extend a little bit.
Which apparently we're not doing well in. Go ahead.
Yeah. So 4-2, the game 3, that Angelo Katoya is in position to potentially get Auburn its next point, or what would be its first official point on the game. Court 4, Auburn lost again. And you're right. Those tiebreakers did not go our way in the first one. So, and they are currently down on court 4 in the second 2. Yes. And in court 5, they lost again in this situation, and are down on the set too. So I jinxed us. We were in position when I gave that update in the show on the live portion. We're live now, I know, but for those of you that watch the replay, I jinxed us. So y'all can blame me for this. And then in court 6, we won the first set. We are about to lose the second set. So it is not really
on court
close.
On 6, you said?
Yes,
we're about to lose
6.
the second set.
We're about to get a 1 point. It looks, I shouldn't say that, knock on wood. Auburn has no points currently because the doubles point went to Texas A&M.
But 3 looks like the
3 is your best chance to even it up. DJ Bennett she could bounce back very easily. Oh, they're starting set 3 for DJ Bennett now.
Yeah, but DJ Bennett, she won the first set against Texas A&M's number 1 Perez, who had not lost a set all year.
I know. So that's going to be a tough one.
So it's a tall task for her, but she's gotten her once. Yeah.
So Austin, I'm just going to be honest. We are probably looking at here another minimum 30 minutes. So we're doing stuff, workshopping on the fly here, folks, for those of you that are watching the YouTube part of the show. Yeah. So you're probably looking at 30 minutes here minimum.
Let's just take, look, of course my internet's working great now. So let's just do your normal little Q&A here. Let's talk to our folks.
Okay. We'll kind of gauge how it's going and stuff.
Maybe these nerds will give me some IT help, and then we'll see how things are going.
Can I just acknowledge that I'm tired though? That was stressful monitoring all that and the show and your internet and all that stuff.
Dude, my internet sucks. I don't know what to do. When I tell y'all, like, all right, here's a little show and tell.
Show and tell.
Right on the other side of this wall right here.
Yeah.
Is a bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay. It's our guest bathroom. It's got a shower and a toilet and a sink.
Thank you for that. That's usually what's in bathrooms. Thank you.
A full guest bathroom is what's on the other side of this wall. There. Now, when I open my extender, look at this. This is great. When I opened my extender, I read all the instructions and all the best practices. My router thingy is downstairs and over. Hang on, let me think. Over there, other side of the house. We're on one side. This wall right here is the exterior of the house. The router's on the other side.
Yeah.
So it said put it about halfway. Well, there is really no halfway. That would not, because there's a stairwell. There's no thing, and there's no on a stairwell. And I will say this: any other outlet that I would have chosen, I'm just being very honest here, is likely to get taken out or messed up by other human beings. So I put it in the bathroom right here, and I kept the little wands up. I got the Google, or I don't know what it's
Google Home, probably.
I got the tether.
Okay.
Whatever that little thingy is right there.
And it says it's working.
Yeah, it says it's working. And so it's up in there. The little wands are up. The little field goal post, it says the kick is good. And it tells me working well all the time.
So,
but obviously it's not working well all the time.
If I'm understanding though, it's in a separate room from you.
Okay, here we go, W. Well, yeah, but it said to put it halfway between the router and where the dead zone is. So I take this room as the dead zone. All right, WT, come here, you nerd. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm relatively close to the equipment, relatively close to the extender. 5G has a shorter range. This is great live content. Struggles to pass through solid walls.
So
should I put it in the room?
I think that's what he's getting at. Yes. So let me also speak to it a little bit for myself. Right. WT, please continue to drop in anything that you've got for him.
Where you been? Where you been with all this? You could have told me this weeks ago and said you've been calling me Temu Wi-Fi over here. You should connect that too.
Anyway, so y'all can continue to give feedback on that. I have a Google Home extender. But mine is a set of 2. Because it was such a situation. So I have it's very similar. My router is at the other end of the house downstairs. So I have one in the foyer behind a picture frame in the foyer, so that it kind of comes around and connects that. Does that make sense? Like it's creating like a tether is what it's saying. So it's down in the bottom, but then my office is just up the stairs and the next one is right there inside the door. When you
of
come
your
in,
office,
of my office. So it's in the room with me. Here's the other thing, Austin, too. If we have the same product or similar products, mine has a port to quote unquote hardwire it in like you would your internet connection.
mine does too. One of those special
So you
cables.
could try that if you put it in the room, and maybe that even helps a little bit more, because what I've noticed is for playing games, when I could access, that's another story, college football 26, I would plug that into my Xbox directly, the extender, hardwire that with a auxiliary cable, and that would speed things up very quickly.
But this MacBook definitely doesn't have a spot for that.
There are
the cables
extenders you can use and things like that. So that I would go move it in the room, test it out, and then go from there.
All right, that's what we'll do. I'll move it in the room. That's what I'll put it right there. There's one right there. That's where I'll put it.
Literally behind you.
Yeah, right there. It's going to be right there. It's going to be as close as possible to this computer.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So there's some feedback from everybody in the chat for you. WT is actually being helpful for you tonight.
I was about to say, what did he do? Where's all this been?
He has
loved
made
yourself useful. Yeah. If your extender connects to your router via 5 gigahertz at time. Yeah, I'm thinking I got the right one I'm on. I just need it in the room. Is it in the room with us? That's what I need.
Yeah. Okay. Start there and then maybe go to the hard line, connecting it directly with an adapter and things like that. So glad we work through that.
How are we doing?
So DJ Bennett, and I haven't gotten an update on score on court 1 yet. So we've got 2 in set 3 officially right now. 1 is down on court 6 right now.
Court 5 though is over.
What's that?
On mine, court 5 is over. Bowers
so court
lost.
5. So Texas A&M is up 2-0 right now officially. They need 2 more points to win. It looks like they're in position to do that on court 4, which would be game that would be 3 points for them. And it looks like everything else could go either way at this point. So I think at this point we can assume that Texas A&M will likely be the national champion. But if Auburn can amount an incredible finish here with court 1, getting their point, court 6, their court 3, which they're in position currently to do so on, and then potentially a comeback on
2 or 4.
Yeah, but 4 will have to go to set 3, and 2 would have to go to set 3 as well. So really, it's coming down to court 2 and 4. I mean, honestly, that's what I know DJ's got to get hers too.
1 and 6 have to win the third.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Texas A&M is in position right now to manage that. But so if this doesn't go the way we want, we'll
my internet will go out.
Oh goodness! This from Corey. He says, "I will admit, when I was working down there, there are some dead spots in Auburn.
There are, and there's a lot in North Auburn, which is where a lot of people are moving out here, and they're building a lot of town out here. And it's like, y'all better get this fixed because there's a bunch of people out here.
Some people go, east. I'm just saying.
Well, some people do go east, but I'm stuck at this point because what they will give me for my house, I can't go anywhere except like way north or way south.
Yeah, that's fair.
This market, man, I know.
Oh, I don't know for me personally, but I know.
But
I do know.
Redonkulous.
It is. And for those of you who aren't aware, we talked about it last week. My mother has moved to the Auburn Opelika area, and so that has given me a somewhat. Well, how about this? She is in the process of moving to that. That's why I was in Auburn this weekend, very, very busy at a certain brand new facility that is very nice. And if they'd like to talk to me about some sponsorships, I'd be open to that.
Brand new facility. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ribbon cutting and everything happened like the week before that and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, when I walked through it, it is brand new. So,
yeah.
So that's what's going on the personal side of things. We'll when that all becomes official later this summer, we'll get, I guess technically it is official. It's just the move part isn't complete yet.
Yeah.
Out of all of it,
you got a lot going on that needs to be completed and shared.
Who are you telling me? Who are you telling me? By the way, in relation to that, this is where Austin and I talk code, and it makes some of our viewers mad. Because I had this on in the audio going very faintly, just listening for loud exclamations. I kept interpreting that as something else down the hall, and I thought, oh no, somebody's having a rough night. But so
yeah,
I think we're okay though.
I heard some loud exclamations on mine. Okay, let's see. All right, we got one.
Is that official?
Angela Okutoi has won. So we got.
She's been solid this year.
We got a point for Auburn.
All right,
that's the last year. So we got a win there.
So 1 to 2, I should say, right now.
Correct.
Texas A&M is in the lead. So DJ Bennett is currently down in set 3. I'm just going to say court 1. So court 1 is currently down in set 3. Court 2 is in the lead right now in set 2. Court 4 down. That's not what we want to see. That'll probably be the nail in the coffin if that doesn't get righted. As we said, court 5 is all but over with. And court 6 is not in a good position either right now at this point. So. What a day. Are you standing up now?
Yeah, I just got my notification. I got to get the rest of my steps in today.
Okay. This is one for the ages.
This is why you guys don't keep me on here post show.
You can stay as long as you want. You're the one that chooses to leave us.
Oh, and now you see why I'm saving you all from. WT's still talking internet, man.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, it's more helpful information for you. So there's that. I'm assuming this question from Corey is in relation to a certain project he was working on nearby to you. And yes, I did get a look at that, Corey. And yes, it was beautiful.
Yes, he's either talking about that or he's talking about him. Was that him today blowing up the Discord?
Oh, that's what he's talking about. This is another inside softball thing. If you're a part of the Discord, you know that's what he's talking about today.
Yeah.
As a person experienced with toying with those types of things, I don't think we can qualify as artistry. I think we can qualify as good at prompts. As
someone who, we're just going to leave it there.
I just, sometimes things are just great, with the way they are. Let's just leave it there.
Yeah, let's leave it there.
All right. I think some people had some comments we can address of some productive note.
Come on.
Let me go back here. Let's see. Corey says, I think they should do the south side like the north. Sitting beside the scoreboard will probably be dreadful on the old eardrums. So, I've thought about, down the line, when they are done with Jordan-Hare North in 3-ish years, what would be the next thing? And I don't know what they would do. Would they do something? Do they have the room to complement the press spot, the press area over there in a similar way on that side of the scoreboard? I don't know that it's as open of an area to do that in, given how the levels are set up. If you know what I'm saying, how it goes underneath.
There's a lot more tear down too over there to put that infrastructure in place. I think you've got, you already got the recruiting facility that was built and thrown in there, and then you've got, I guess it's really the main backside and the other. And if you're looking at the back of the scoreboard, the original scoreboard, you've got the right side where, the banners are and Aubie's house, if you're familiar with that area. So I don't know. I don't know what would be next. And I caution people that, we don't always have to look forward to what's next, but I would hope, okay, here's one thing. Personally, what I would like to see what's next is maybe you just brick all of it. There's a lot that can be bricked. That was not, that's not as fun to dwell on or enjoy, but I think the exterior could get a little, not paint job literally, but a little touch up.
Yeah. I'm also texting and managing something on the side here.
We do it all here.
I listen. This is one for the ages, man. This one is it's got weather delays, tech problems. It's got us trying to do a show while a very important historical event for Auburn is going on. Austin doing his steps live on show. I'm thankful
Live
that
on
we
show.
I
don't need many, but I did tech duty at church today, so that doesn't give me as many steps. Normally, I can sit there and tap my leg.
Yeah. Here, I'll address this. I don't know if Josh is still here or not. And this is I don't when I bring this up, I'm not saying this to pick necessarily on Josh, but this is
what I said right on Q2, by the way.
Yeah.
In the show.
This is a very common thing for folks that as a response to this. So what he was responding to is us talking about the money being spent on this new facility for Jordan Hare. And he said that money should be spent on the team. Well, unfortunately, that's a comment that is made with, and I don't mean this to be rude, but with a lot of ignorance about how this works. These are separate projects and separate, line items and all that kind of stuff. NIL and facilities stuff is all separate. Unless I'm mistaken, Austin, do you agree or disagree with that?
I mean, no, I agree with I see what you're saying. This was not a donation, though. This is a capital project being funded and raised. And so, restricting it to certain things is what's happened. Like,
right.
I don't want to say this specific example, but it's the easiest one to think of. Like, you could, if you wanted to argue this position, you should come at it as it from, why did the Nevilles give just to rename the arena? Why didn't they just give to make the team better? This is a construction project. It's not apples to apples, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I understand the heart behind what Josh is saying here. He wants we are living in the NIL era where there has to be continual reinvestment. I think this is also probably off the heels of a lot of conversation this week about where certain teams reportedly, and I think people need to be very understanding sometimes. These are reports. These aren't facts that have been shared openly with the public. These are what people are using their sources and stuff to report on. So always remember that type of thing. Not saying it's not true, just trying to help people understand context and all that. That's where a lot of this comes from and stuff. So I would just encourage anybody that holds that type of opinion, well, this is stupid or this shouldn't have happened because we need to invest in the team. Well, frankly, first of all, you are investing in the team by investing in your fans and the atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. You can make that argument. However, it's a separate issue. You can only use this money for those types of things. And I'll also make this element to this argument to anybody else too. Who are you to tell people what they're going to do with their money?
Yeah, it's not yours.
It's not yours. So I would, as we've discussed with the people with the handrails, here I go again. If you are that adamant that has to happen and that needs to be, nothing else needs to be addressed, you have all the freedom to say, Auburn University, here's my money. It goes to nothing but the handrails, and that needs to be, but my conditions are, it has to be done by next year. So you can have that free. So you are welcome to do all that kind of stuff if you'd like to. So
yeah, why am I buying extenders? Y'all are ones complaining about it. Y'all should be buying me the extenders.
All right, I'll go back up and look and see if there's any. Let's come back.
We 4, by the way.
We're what now?
We lost court 4, 3-1 A&M.
Right now. Lord! All right, hey, let's do an update. Court 1 is in position to go Texas A&M's way, but still a bit of a ways to go.
We can't lose again, folks.
Yeah, Court 2 is still in position for Auburn. Court 3 is in position for Auburn. Oh, wait, that's already a win for Auburn.
Court 3 is a win, yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Court 4, as you said, is not in that one win official. Is that the one you're saying? Yes.
I believe so, yes.
So that would be 3 points right there, as we discussed, for Texas A&M. And
comes down to 1, 2, and 6.
6.
Right?
1, 2, and 6.
Gotta win them all.
You gotta win them all. Gotta win them all.
Here we go.
You know. This is what you get this late night of a show. And hey, this is kind of turning into that night on Auburn Family Night where things just happen organically, and we all stayed up. With Sam. Sam called the show, and then we watched his reaction live to the game.
Who was that? What game was that?
Very early in the season because it was cold. They said.
Yeah, it was cold.
It was Hump Day night for the Camel promotion. So.
Oh yeah, I went to that. It was also hot dog night. I don't remember. It was very cold though.
Austin, what else did you have while you were there? No, I'm just kidding.
They did discount that too, but none that I partook in.
Okay, I think we're tied up on court 6 now. Yeah.
I need DJ to win court 1. That would be.
I want to just say this. Listen, we are novices that understand all this, but just having locked into it, especially this postseason and more this season, DJ is it feels like she is just getting the brunt of the. I know she's our number one, being locked up with their number ones.
Sure,
but like it just feels like she's doing all she can to hold off the best of the others as well at times. And I think they even said on the broadcast earlier that she's not happy with her performance in the tournament thus far. That like she has yes, we've seen it, and she feels like she can do better. But I mean, she took down their number one in the first set and.
Had never lost a set all year. They're number one. What is that like?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I've never won a set in my life.
I did on Wii tennis.
Well, there's that. So you're better off.
I miss Wii tennis.
I miss a lot of things about the Wii. And that's what we reached this point in the show.
I'm going to clip that. I am going to clip that. I am going to clip that right there.
Hold on. Sound check.
For who?
No.
Oh.
Oh yeah. There's a lot happening this evening.
Exclamations.
There's a lot happening this evening.
All right, do you need to leave?
I think we're okay. Actually, I asked if we were okay, and I didn't get a response. So
that might be your answer.
I do have the ability, Austin, to do things like this, and I've thought about here. We'll just workshop the stuff here. I am, when things settle down for me personally, and I know I've said that a lot, and this collegiate athletic seasons winds down even more. I do plan on kind of fine tuning some things, but we do have like little segment breakers that we can do like this. Mic is muted. What's going on? See, that's why we don't do these things. Now your mic is muted too.
You muted us both for that. What were you saying? I like that though.
I was saying we could do that as a break in between segments and things like that.
Oh, yeah. So I can switch my Wi-Fi. Austin's Wi-Fi change break brought to you by U-Haul.
But hey, we wish, man. We wish. Okay, Auburn is in position. In position on court 6. Trying to read the room.
Whose is that? That's Esposito's?
That is Esposito is in the lead in court 6.
How's DJ doing?
DJ has got one back. We're close. We closed.
I think it's going to come down to DJ. DJ's
going.
She's going. Well, I mean, obviously they got to win them all, but
yeah. Katarina on court 2 is hopefully in good position here to take set 2. Now you may say it comes down to DJ, but Katarina is going to be the one that's kind of the least.
Yeah, but DJ's the shot in the arm. Like if she can pull that out, everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah,
it's going to be wild. Everybody's going to go nuts in that way. I hope that you're okay too with being here. That your obligations aren't.
I did hear exclamations late in the recording, but I hear no such exclamations anymore. So
I hear none now, but I have not gotten the response that I needed.
That's not good. No TAE of official purposes next week, WT.
Yes.
Possibly a light show Monday.
So, yeah, let me clarify. So if you missed that WT, we will not do a Sunday show at all. But if needed, we will potentially do a light something on Monday. We were both going to be out of town, and I had always planned to take this one off anyway, but we recognize that like the regional has some value, and if there's extra things that happen, part of the reason we are here just extending the post show so long is so that we don't have to put off certain events. And if history happens here, and at this point, it would be pretty historical given the odds that Auburn has. It's going to be
Correct.
great that we're doing this live. But I just don't see a world where, I mean, it's possible. There is still a path for Auburn.
Oh, yeah.
It'd
be a remarkable effort. I'm trying to look around and see what some show and tell I can do to.
Yeah, we don't get show and tell from you as much as I feel like me, but I mean, I could do that as well.
Let me see if I've told this story. Hang on one second.
Okay. Show and tell lunch.
This might have been like back in like the early days of the start. We might not have the same people that we have now. But have I talked about what this is right here?
It feels very familiar, but just do it again.
This is I got this on our honeymoon.
Who'd you kill?
Believe it or not, given the size of this, you would not be surprised. The size of this is obviously a midget human being, so this is a descendant of Nick Saban. No,
wow. I was wondering where you were going with that. I'm so glad it went that route.
No, so we went to a resort in Cancun, Mexico, and there was a guy they had like a artisan, like kind of, what do you call it? Not farmers market, but like an art market where they had a bunch of artists selling their stuff to all the touristy people like myself and Emily. And this guy went up and he had like a bunch of these like ceramic skulls on his table, and they were like tons of pro teams, some college teams. I was like, that's kind of weird. We didn't have any Auburn ones. And so I asked him, of course, this is a man that works in Cancun, Mexico. And I said, have you ever heard of Auburn? Like, do you know Auburn? I didn't have my phone, or I would have like pulled up the logo at that moment. I said, have you heard of Auburn? And he looks at me, he's like 1 second. So, and he pulls out, he's like, and he pulls out one just like this, but it's an Alabama one. I was like, no. And he was like, I'm just kidding. Like, he was like, yes. He was like, he knew the rivalry and he was messing with me, but he was like, I don't have an Auburn one. He was like, I will paint you one tonight and you can come back and get it tomorrow.
Yeah. And
that's what he did. So that's what this is. It's a very weird thing to have in your house, but it's what I have.
Yeah, it is. Update, court 6 is now tied in set 3.
Is that good or bad? Was it not tied?
It was in our favor, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Keeping this all straight at this point is a challenge. Court 2 is still in Auburn's favor in set 2. So like we said, that's going to be the last one to finish their competition if everything else has to happen for Auburn. Again, Auburn cannot lose another set at this point. This is, if for those of you that are like brand new to this is why the doubles point is so important. And I'm so disappointed in myself because I like exclaimed earlier in the house before the show started and we were watching doubles play because I thought we had won it and I was wrong. We had one more game to go and then Texas A&M came back and won. So that was unfortunate for me and looking very foolish. But if you win that doubles point, you have a lot of leeway.
Yeah, and I think I saw something about doubles point. Like A&M has not had success in doubles, so of course on the national championship stage, and that's been a big strong strength of Auburn's. And of course on the national championship stage, it doesn't work out that way.
DJ is now down by 2, 1-3.
Dear.
Well, I mean that's what she was down 2-0 and she came back and got to 1-2.
Yeah.
So she's got and she's already beaten her for the first time ever in a set. So I mean, like Austin has said, it may not be the last game match to finish, but it will be the determining one at this point because everything else, at least Auburn has a stronger case for. So you can imagine for DJ too, what this feels like. Cause I believe this will be her last, I mean, it's everybody's last match of the season, but like, this is her last of her Auburn career. So there's a lot of pressure on that girl right now, having to face one of the best in the nation. And Luciana, I think is how you said it, Perez.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you already got a set from her is pretty incredible. Court 2 officially went to Auburn in set 2, so they are about to start set 3. And so that one's
who's that?
That is a Katarina. And you can try that last name, sir.
No,
You did so
no.
well.
I noticed you at Katarina earlier, and I thought that was a good idea.
Ekaterina. It's
Katarina.
Ekaterina.
So they're going to the third. So she's definitely, even if Auburn wins these next two, she's the last.
She's the last to complete it. Yes. So
where's
basically
where's Esposito? And I think she
is tied 3-3. So we are essentially halfway through that final set for them. But that's an all important one. I've been watching just the scoreboard. Haven't really been watching the match. So I guess I could pull that up because it's so easy to keep all of them, in line. But it's funny when I was watching the quarterfinals, because I didn't get to sit down and watch the semifinals because of my busy Saturday. It was funny watching the announcers talking about Auburn LSU dynamics and things like that. He's like, literally, this entire match could be over in 2 minutes, or it could go another hour because of the way the tiebreakers work and things like that. And it ended up, like, once he said that, going like about 20 more minutes, and then Auburn just quickly knocked it off, So, not to say that we have an hour left. I'm just saying that this could be over quick. I mean, like we said, it's DJ. DJ is the thing that matters the most, and frankly, at this point. Because that would be the big upset, I think. I don't know. Would it be an upset if our number one and their number one?
I think so. It's like 2-1 seeds, but there's a one.
But given her reputation for not losing a set until DJ, I mean, maybe that would be an upset.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking around for things to do, show and tell here to kill time.
I can trade with you. We can go back and forth.
Sure. WT asked about my screen TV. I moved that. It's also still over here, but it was over here in the corner when I used to sit like that.
It's another wall.
That's where I used to sit. Kyle's come through that door before. That's where I used to sit. And the TV, which obviously you can tell is no longer there and is patched up very nicely, if I must say so. Thank you, Emily. I moved to there.
There you go. Yeah, now I got my bearings again of where we're at now.
Yeah. You haven't been here in a while.
It's been a minute. Maybe that'll happen again soon. All right, here's a new piece that Jessica bought for me.
Show
I
us.
think at TJ Maxx, to be honest with you. And obviously the lighting's a little bit off on it. But there you go. That's better. So it's just like a little ceramic, not ceramic, but maybe let's call it plastic, whatever it is. But
it's thick. That's thicker than I thought.
It is. And so she got this for me at that store, market, whatever it was, and I forgot to put it back here. And so one day, you can't see it in this shot, but it's literally like right there. And I turned around after working one night, and it was like staring me in the face. I was like, "When did that get there?" And so Jessica had come in the office and placed it in there because I'd forgotten about it. So I really like this thing, and when I do rearrange this room, I'm probably gonna, if I can find the right angles where the lighting doesn't hit it too much, it's gonna sit like very in the suite. My goal for just acrylic. Thank you, acrylic. Figured it out. Yeah. It's late. My goal is I want to have a better representation of all aspects of Auburn behind me, not just overload on football, but obviously I have a ton of football stuff. But like I've got Josh, speaking of Josh Donaldson, I've got the Donaldson bobblehead here.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my soccer credential right there.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Final Four hat up here that probably will go in there in some way. What else do I have that would be just things that could be included that are football?
It's funny you say that because I've also thought I've had my setup here behind me for a while now, and it's heavy football. There's one
that's fine
of Samford Hall, but I have these are true newspapers I collected. Here, look, we're just gonna go off road. These are true newspapers I've collected during my time at Auburn of previous Iron Bowl wins, but I also have like local newspapers of like basketball like headlines, and I think that would be a good
that'd be a good
whatever tandem in having both.
All right, DJ has gotten one set back. We're back within a set, so that's huge.
And it goes to 6, right?
It goes to 6.
Win by 2.
Win by 2. So then they would go to a 7th, which is why you see some 7s on the board.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So
Let me
that's
see
that.
what. This is a fun
We are
one.
Esposito is now down 1, so that one's
In the
important
third?
in the third. So that one's important as well. But we're keeping it close in the win by 2 situation here. So Auburn's got life. It's not
Okay.
it's not like on the cardiac arrest yet, but
Sure.
we're alive. Cardiac cats is coming into play here. Based off the scoring, Court 2 has not started, but let me go over to the TV broadcast.
I'm gonna get another show and tell piece.
Yeah, you go ahead. Let me just see here. By the way, Volt, what's going on, man? We are live right now. The show has been done technically, but we are staying live for this women's tennis historic match. It is not in Auburn's favor at this current time, but we are trying our best to hang tight in there. We are going an hour and 44 minutes. This is turning into Austin when I sometimes do the bracket pick'em show where it goes for 3 hours essentially, but well, no, what is this?
You could take a guess.
Is that Toomer's Oak?
No, gosh, no.
Oh, that's it's the hedge bush.
Yes, these are hedges. Would you like to guess what game?
I'm gonna guess since you were a student for 2017 rushing. Is that what that was?
Yeah, you're smart. You're a smart guy.
Because I have 2 that are back there, one from 2013 and one from the 13 rushing.
Yeah, I had a 13 somewhere around here.
They're falling apart, though. I'm gonna be honest with you.
They're very brittle, very brittle.
Let's see if I've got any other updates for you guys. Okay, Katerina is in the lead in the beginning of set 3, so that should make you feel at least a good to start. Court 1 still one game in favor. All right, we're tied. Esposito is tied on. So this is a slight trend in favor of Auburn here. Again, for those of you that are just joining us, everything has been decided pretty much. Austin is on another level tonight.
It's late, man.
Auburn cannot lose another court. Texas A&M needs 4 points to win. They have 3. Auburn must sweep these final 3 that are in competition. They are tied in one, winning in the other, and slightly behind one of the best in the nation in the other. So it could go either way. This looks slightly inappropriate, Austin.
Don't make it weird. It's a tiger.
I wasn't making it that. I'm not going that way with it. I'm just saying it's like the
tiger tail.
You know,
it's just me being Aubie, man.
Okay, that's fine.
Bobby.
If Aubie can do it,
that's right.
I guess you can.
Aubie visited me at work this week.
Did he really?
He did.
No, that's special. I'm trying to find here. I think we talked about this, but here's my Final Four hat that I bought for $5 at the university bookstore.
It's pretty big.
These went for what?
And that's last year's?
Yes. So that's 2025. So guess how much that was on full price?
Oh, 35?
$40.
Yeah.
$40. I got it for $5.
You just gotta wait a year, folks.
Oh no, there it goes. There it goes.
Oh, I thought we lost. I thought you meant there goes the national championship trophy.
No, let's just do this. Okay, we'll do hat show and tell since I've already messed things up. So once again,
all right, go ahead.
So here's some things for me. The Final Four one.
Yep.
Don't know where this came from, but people have commented on it.
That's interesting.
It's from Top of the World, if they still exist.
Never heard of that.
Never. These ones I don't wear. Pat Dye hat.
Yep. I got a white one of those somewhere over there.
White championship hat from the locker room, out of the box from the locker room.
We got one of those too over there. It was my late grandfather's.
I've got. Oh no, there went one of the leaves of the old hedge bushes.
Oh.
This random one that I got, or my mom got for me from Kohl's, I think.
That's good looking. That's different. $10. You don't see that very often.
I might start wearing this one a little bit.
It's got the tag on it still.
Yeah, it does. There are a lot of tags on these.
Look at that.
Look at this one.
That's something right there.
What you think about that? What if I wore that around Auburn? What do you think would happen?
People wouldn't have a hard time finding you.
No, they would not. So there's those. And then that's not all the hats I have, by the way. Y'all seen me wear this one a lot. And then we've got this one that is retired, but not for the show. It's just the standard blue.
Yes.
And then I will give a final shout out of some of their gear. because they're great partners on Auburn Family Night.
Oh
I
yeah.
believe for
Sounds like there's
for
some
Bar-
big news coming out of there
for
soon
Barner
too.
Supply. Yes, there is, and they've already kind of, in some ways, announced that, but nothing like super official yet. But
Yeah.
all right, DJ is now down by 2 again. So it seems like they get. I think it's based off of who's serving basically at this point. So there's going to have to be an upset swing here.
What is that? Is that 5-3 now?
That's 2-4. 2-4.
Okay.
We've got court 2 still up by 1 game on the final set. We are tied still, Esposito on court 6. So I have a feeling here, unless
how's this work? If something breaks here, does all others stop? There's no need to play the rest.
They do not finish that's why if you look at scoring on tennis, sometimes it says DNF did not finish. Or maybe there's a different designation, but I think it's DNF. So I'm going to actually keep my eye, I think, at this point, mostly on the TV screen. And hopefully they'll keep most of their attention on court 1. They've got it on Esposito right now, which is tied, but there's about to be they call it deciding point for who's going to, this needs to swing in Auburn's favor to stay, in decent chances.
Yeah.
Didn't go our way, I think.
That's a wrap.
No, it's not a wrap. She's still, it's 5-4, I think, in sets now in their favor, as opposed to a tie,
but now
based off her body language. But now we're back on court 1.
Oh dear.
God, so close, man. So, and this is anything can happen. LSU wasn't supposed to give us the fits they did in the SEC tournament, and they did. And Auburn made a resounding comeback. But they also had the doubles point too. So that's really the key here, is the doubles point. Let's see. DJ is tied in her game right now to potentially get back within a game. Remember, game, set, match. 6 games, win by 2, get you a set. And then its scoring is 15-30. Have we ever discussed this? Have we ever gotten an explanation why it's 15-30-40?
No, nope.
There's got to be an easy explanation for it.
It confused me most when I played Wii tennis, and then I just,
yeah,
it didn't make much sense after
that. Could y'all not hear me earlier when I was doing this type of stuff?
Have you ever seen a Tumors Limited candle?
Does it actually smell like it?
Still smells just like it. It kind of gives me a headache. It's really old now.
Mm-hmm.
It smells just like it.
Can I, speaking of like just Auburn things, I will give some more free advertising to a great Auburn place. We have a newly married in person to our family that is of the Baylor persuasion. And we are, I'm working on indoctrinating her and changing her misguided ways. Hopefully she learns it after she gets beat again this fall.
Salvation comes at all times.
But yes, it does. The Lord waits for us all. But we took her to Auburn. She was actually helping us in Auburn this weekend, and we needed some dinner because we were all literally about to pass out. And I chose, instead of taking her to Mama G's, to the original, I figured it was shortly after the baseball game it would be packed, which I thought maybe this place would be too, and it wasn't. And that's Sheila C's Burger Barn. I think they really loved it. And we also had one of my cousins with us too, who considers himself, or at least the way he talks, a burger connoisseur. And so you always wonder how they feel about places like that are kind of hole in the wall places. And I mean that in an endearing way. Will it live up to the hype, so to speak? He loved it. And he said it's less about the burger than the entire package of what, like a combo meal and stuff like that. Like it's the whole thing that works for him.
Who did we send where did we send Hunter to?
Hunter went to a certain other establishment that I will not disparage here and did not have a great time, he said, but we did say you need to go to Sheila. No, we told him he needs to go to Sheila C's just to, make it better for himself.
Yeah, where did he? I remember being.
You know where he went. You know where he went. We're not gonna, because that's a.
Oh,
A dream. That's a dream, and we'll leave it out.
It was a terrible, terrible miscalculation by him. Yes, I remember.
He spoke blasphemies of all kinds of horrendous nature. Yeah, Esposito is now down by 1 game in the final set, but I'm going to speak too soon here. She might be tied here in that. Let's see. Oh, nope. She's got herself a nice little cushion here in that game in set 3 to maybe come back to a tie. There's something going on with DJ and Luciana on court 1. It feels like they've been hung up there for a while.
Oh, yeah. It feels like she should have been done. Or the match should have been done.
Well, if you're watching this on the TV, folks, or if you do, hopefully now in the future, did you? Oh, I think she. Oh, did she get it? Yes, she did. All right, DJ's back within one game on set 3. So 3-4, only down 3-4. So it is going the way we've been talking, Austin. Like whoever's serving, it looks like is getting the win. So
someone's gonna have to break the mold here.
Let's see if Esposito can get this back to a tie right here. She is on break, what would be called break point number 2, but she is not serving. Esposito is. I like this angle much better than they had the overhead shot, to be honest with you. They got the straight behind. Did they get it? Let's see. I think that went Esposito's way, based off the body language of the Texas A&M coach, unless they're challenging it. Well, I don't know what happened there. Maybe it was a fault. I have the audio way down low so I can focus on you guys. So I'm mainly going off of body language here. By the way, if you look, I know we don't like giving credit to Georgia Bulldogs, but they look like they've got an incredible tennis facility.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's like right near Stegman Coliseum where the basketball team plays, and it's very tall. You can get very high up and watch a tennis match there.
I want to just say this: I've never been to Athens.
Well, I mean, I don't blame you, but
it almost happened tonight. I'll be honest with you, but
oh yeah,
I was really fighting hard to not.
How far is that for you?
It's not the easiest drive, but it's not long. It's a little bit less than Auburn. That's it, I think. Is that it? That's it. That was the championship point. I missed it somehow. That's it. That's
who
it.
did?
Texas
who
A&M just won.
Yeah, but who? Where did it fit?
Esposito is where it ended.
Really?
Wow. How did that happen? Let's see. Let me see what I missed here. Oh, wow. I must have lost track of the points there. Yeah. So I thought we were further in the we were. I didn't think we were as far in the final set, but that's it. Texas A&M is national champions. So y'all watched it happen live. That's sad. Bummer.
That's very unfortunate.
Man, what a year though. What a year. Okay. Would you like to try to put something together just to address it?
Sure. Yeah.
You want to stand up for us?
I'll just get my stool back.
All right. This will be our final segment, folks, and then we're going to pop out of here. So we're just going to do this, as if we were still in the show. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. As we sit here in what's been a wild episode, again, they called it the multiverse show, where things happened out of order and things like that. And we wish we were living in a multiverse where Auburn was victorious as national champions for women's tennis. And that is your news. Texas A&M wins in a little bit of surprising fashion that happened throughout the entire match today. But in just addressing this, we want to also talk about the admiration we have for the program, the journey that they've had. They had to overcome an SEC tournament challenge of LSU that got very scary. They had to face LSU again after having such an easy first and second round. And they gave them fits too. They handled Ohio State in the semifinals, and that brought them to Texas A&M, ironically, where Coach Szabo first came from. And so the stories abounded across here. And so as we're sitting here even now, right, watching this on screens, the tears rolling down from a lot of our ladies, that was a hard-fought match across all the singles and the doubles. The women's team, the women's Texas A&M women's team wasn't very good at doubles points this season, it sounded like, but yet they get in the championship match, Austin. So I think that kind of signaled this is going to be a rough night for Auburn.
Yeah, it laid the foundation, and we've said it before. That can be an uphill battle to climb when you don't get that doubles point. Auburn's had a good bit of success doing that, and but can't get it in the national championship match, and it kind of put them behind the 8 ball the rest of the way. Lots of valiant efforts, lots of good storylines in the middle of it. DJ Bennett taking down a set from the Perez, A&M's number one. The first set she's lost all year, but they're just not able to string enough along to overcome and get 4 straight wins in the singles matches. So nothing to disparage about what a year it was. Just incredible work and such a young tenure for Coach Szabo. And I'm sure we all look forward to them being back on this stage and hopefully getting over the hump and winning it next.
Absolutely. And, if you look at the score and you might think that maybe Auburn had very little chance to win this, but the reality is this: it came down to 3 courts at the end of this. Auburn did have to sweep all of them. And we were sitting here in the live portion of the show debating who is going to come down to. DJ Bennett seemed like she might be the deciding factor, but unfortunately Esposito wasn't able to hold off Daria on court 6. And so it just it went Texas A&M's way this year. You've got a lot to be proud of in this program for their first SEC regular season title, first tournament title. You've got first time making it to the national championship venue for the quarterfinals, semifinals, and make it the first time for all of that, right? Like the whole thing. So this isn't a, consolation prize. This isn't moral victories and things like that. But when something has never happened in your program history, that is something to be proud of. And so I think this is a great win in the column of John Cohen, who hired him and found him and convinced him to come over to Auburn. In a world where a lot of people like to throw, things in the face of athletic directors all the time if their major sport isn't working, this is certainly a win in his column for finding someone that can take what was working at Auburn in women's tennis, because it wasn't in any way a bad program when he arrived, but elevating it to the next level. So depending on how everything shakes out with roster and all that, people leaving out, maybe this is the new standard for Auburn of being in the quarterfinals, the semifinals for many years to come at this point.
Yeah. I think that's something you hope to see from a lot of these programs that maybe don't get the notoriety they should. But I mean, like one of our viewers is saying, getting to the national championship match is a tremendous accomplishment. I don't think that there's anything, especially with the way Auburn people like to, excuse me,
He's sneezing to keep away the tears right now. That's what's going on.
Right. Especially the way Auburn people like to celebrate all things that bring their program success and bring their program notoriety. This is a land Auburn women's tennis has not ventured before, and now hopefully they leave hungrier to accomplish even more and get over the final. But what a run! What a fun time keeping up with them. We've certainly covered them well the last few weeks, and I hope that it gives them more of that support from the Auburn people and from the Auburn family at the Bro going forward. But man, what a great year, and what fun to keep up with them tonight and figure out how it all ended.
Yeah. It was an interesting show for those of you that watched or listened or all that stuff. As we said, it's this segment's inserted somewhere. I think I know where it's going to end up, but as you can tell, the hat backwards for Austin kind of signals this thing was kind of piecemealed in there as we waited for this thing to be finalized.
A lot happened in between.
A lot happened in between. This is part of the reason we encourage you to watch the live show if you can stay up that late with us, as this was an interesting one. But hey, I know it's the congrats feels hollow at this point for Auburn women's tennis. But again, I want to reiterate, great year, awesome to follow and cover this team. Makes us even more excited to follow and continue to cover them in the years to come. Congrats to Coach Szabo and the team for all they accomplished this year. All right, folks, we're going to go to bed and take care of other situations as well. So thank you so much for your patience, for your understanding, for sticking with us. If you did this long on the live portion, if you caught the replay and stayed this long with us, that's awesome. You guys are awesome. And this is a rarity for Austin, too, to be here this long. So y'all got the treat.
And notice I have no internet issues after we stop recording.
It's kind of how it goes, isn't it?
Yes, but now I know. As soon as we get out of here, I'll be moving the extender to right there, and we'll find out in 2 weeks what happens.
We figured it out. Remember, no Sunday show next week. There might be a surprise mini show on Monday if it's warranted, but right now you should plan for us to be back in 2 weeks for episode 174. As we go, we remind you the Auburn Creed asks you to do justly, to love mercy, and walk humbly with God. We ask you to do the same. War Eagle.
War Eagle.